It's EA College Football 27 and Madden 27 season, and they just dropped what might be the most comprehensive defensive under-the-hood update we have seen in those games in years. Don't believe me? Stay tuned. What up, it's your boy Vintage for Life, and we are back. Now outlining and detailing the new gameplay features adding or coming to College Football 27 and Madden NFL 27. I have the gameplay deep dive article here. I will link it in the coverage or in the space below. Please, if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit the like button, and if you really like what I'm doing, make sure to subscribe. Now, as we do this gameplay deep dive, buckle up. It's going to be a long one. There's a lot to discuss and cover here. So we're going to scroll down. They're giving you a little bit of an intro here, kind of telling you like who's going to be talking about the article, what their main motivation is. Just to kind of save you some time. Gameplay was a really big focus for them, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. They want people to feel like, you know, defense matters. You're able to make plays when you need to make plays, but on offense, you also can make plays if you need to make plays. We're going to go over and like smooth over this. I'm not going to read it all. If you want to check it out, you can. We're going to dive into where they start talking about what is different. So right here, first one, defense wins championships. We watched your videos, read through your posts on Reddit, X, and everywhere else. You guys talk ball. One thing was very clear. Yes, offense is fun, no doubt about it. Everybody loves touchdowns, explosive plays, and putting points on the board. But our football fans are asking for more on the defensive side of the ball. More tools, more control, more answers. So this year, defense is a major focus for us, not just making defenders better for the sake of it, but giving players more control, more strategy, more confidence that good defensive football will be rewarded, along with depth and breadth never seen in the digital football experience. Now, when you hear that, I know what you're probably thinking. We've heard it before, Vicious. Defense got better. Okay, sure. How? I truly believe as we go through these articles, you're going to see some changes on here that get you a little bit excited. Some you're not going to be able to really conceptualize until you have the game in your hand, but nonetheless, I do feel like there are changes that are going to make defense this year be much more of a profound thing. Smarter coverage, real football answers. Coverage is arguably the biggest area we attacked this year. We heard you loud and clear. Though improved, there are many times where you felt like you had the right call on defense, but the coverage didn't always play out with aggressiveness, urgency, or football intelligence you expect. That means, you know, they dropped picks. They basically stood there and let themselves get caught on. They didn't like try to attack the ball and all those other stuff, right? So this year, coverage gets more intelligence, more tools, more control, and more football answers. And note, the AI can and will use these tools as well. Defensive alignment control. We start off with cornerback depth. This allows you to control how far your cornerbacks align from the line of scrimmage. You can press, play tighter, or give more cushion depending on the situation. All right, so this is one that is really important. I didn't really catch this when I was reading this through the first time, but essentially on defense, this is where you are able to tell your cornerback if you want him to press, if you want to play off. And the cool thing about the playing off is you can do it much like how you do with zone drops. You can tell them I want to play off 3 yards, 5 yards, 10 yards, 20 yards, you know, all that good stuff. It's definitely going to be an adjustment to get used to, because as people probably know, you're probably just used to on the field being able to just tell a cornerback, you know, the ex-cornerback, hey, back up, or hey, press. This is now going to give you more control to actually put where they're at. I do like it because, as you know, people like to run those routes where it's a short route, right? Where they're going to be a quick out or a curl. You can now tell your cornerback to like only be 3 yards ahead of the receiver so that they can't just be, you know, brush paths, but at the same time, they can attack those shorter routes quicker. Cornerback width lets you adjust whether corners align tighter inside or wider outside. This helps you protect against specific route threats, whether you are worried about the inside breaking routes or the outside leverage. I love this addition too, because basically you're telling your corner they're going to line up on the inside or the outside. As you know, if you know with someone who plays a lot of slants or inside routes, that tight coverage is going to help you protect against that. And this is different than like, you know, the shading or route committing. This is just starting off where they're already in that leverage. Same with the out routes, so the wide. This lets you defend against out routes better. I don't know if you know how much y'all play, but there's a route last year. It's in strong. It's like the wide receiver double outs, and it's a very easy like money play because the receiver essentially just jump up and then go out. This is going to help combat that, because now when you're in that outside breaking, if they try to do that, the cornerback has to jump on them. So I love that whole, like, if you know or have an idea of what is coming, you can kind of go against it, right? Safety depth, this is here last year, but it gives you control over how deep your safeties align. You can bring them down closer to the box or keep them deeper to protect against explosive plays. While this was introduced last season, it's been upgraded more options, which it has. You know, you're able to do things like back them up further, play them closer. Safety width lets you pinch, spread, or widen your safeties based on what you're trying to take away. Protect the middle, protect the sidelines, or keep a more balanced shell. It's introduced last season, it's been upgraded more options. This is the one where I'm like, you have to kind of figure out what it does. I've been trying to play around with it to kind of figure out like how to best work with it. And this is going from last year, but once again, the option to tell your safeties where they should be at, how wide it should be on things is something that, you know, people should utilize. I feel like not a lot of people utilize this last year. I'm guilty of it as well. I do feel like if you know people have like routes, this is something that you need to be putting in your system. Safety midpoint allows safeties to shift their alignment towards the left, right, strong side, weak side, field, or boundary. That gives you more control over how you want to handle offensive strength and field position. Introduced last season, but upgrade more options. Once again, if you are in full knowledge of what you want to do with your safeties, this gives you more tools to it. We had it last year, and this is something that I definitely want to try to explore more, but for me, it's kind of tough to know when you want to sanction or to use the midpoint, but I'll never criticize it for having more tools on defense. Smart zones. Smart zones improve zone defenders' awareness of and reaction logic. The goal here was simple. Zone defenders need to play better with better football intelligence. This should understand situation, route depth, spacing, and when the original area no longer has a threat. So all of this that you see here, these are essentially going to be coach adjustments that you'll be able to set. And it's a lot of coach adjustments this year. They're going to dive into like all of them, but I just want you to know these are like coach adjustments. So these aren't like, oh, out of the box, they're going to play this. You have to set the adjustments for them to play like this. First one right here is the zone aggressiveness. So these right here, from all aggressive all the way to ultra conservative, these are things that you can use to tell your zone to play. You can tell the zone to play them in your pre-play menu, or you can do them in the coach adjustment menus before you select a pay. Honestly, won't lie to you, the zone aggressiveness is one of my top features so far. Right now, the first one's easy. Aggressive zone defenders prioritize shorter routes when threatened. This is better for taking away the quick game, but can open up deeper windows behind them. This is what you're probably going to see people utilize on like the 4th and shorts, or, you know, 3rd and 2s, where most people are trying to take like short yardage. Now the downfall of this is if you do this and they go deep on you, then you have less coverage there. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a touchdown, but it just means that your defense is more so sticking towards that short side of field. And if people get deep, there may or may not be someone there to really stop them. Balance is going to be like what it traditionally plays like. So traditional zone behavior, they play their assignments, they're not cheating or anything. Conservative zone defenders give more cushion and prioritize deeper threats. This helps protect against explosive, but you may give up throws underneath. So this is kind of what you're going to utilize when you know someone has to go like, you know, 4th and 15, where they have some depth, right? Where you're probably not going to have take the short route. You're trying to get something that goes over the top. I like this because once again, it gives another layer versus just being able to do pass, commit, and protect the sticks. Now you can tell your zones like, hey, give up that underneath, but I really want you to play those deeper routes. And then ultra conservative defenders gain extra depth and carry vertical threats. This is built to keep the ball in front of you and make the offense earn underneath. Basically, this is where you know they got to go deep on you, right? If you know they have to pass, it's 4th and forever. There's no option for the short. You're telling your defenders, stick with all of those deep vertical routes. I mean, think about how many times have you been called in on a 3rd and 10 or 4th and long, and they get that vertical route out of nowhere that kind of burns you and gives them a good gain. This will kind of prevent that. Now, you have to remember to utilize it. So like I said, in the pre-play menu, you're able to select this, but you also can set this up in your defensive adjustments. All right, these next ones. Look for work. When a defender's zone clears out, he does not just stand there guarding grass. He starts looking for the next threat and works to help the coverage. This is another defensive adjustment that you have to set. It isn't out of the box stock on. So that's the one thing I want to emphasize with these is like you have to go into the settings and put these on. Now the good news is they have an adjustment or menu setting where in your actual game settings, you can set this pre-game so that you don't have to do it every game, because there's a lot of adjustments to make, right? So you can set it out of the game, like how do you want your people to react. But the look for work, great addition in my opinion, because let's think about it. Don't you hate when you have your defender just kind of sitting there and no one's around, and it's like, hey, just get the guy on the left, like he's right there, you can see him. But because of the logic of they got to stick in their zone, they don't. This is now going to make it so like those guys are no longer just going to be staying in one place. They're going to look for work and try to attack who's near them, which is something I love. Plaster, won't lie to you, I told you zone aggressiveness is like one of my top features. Plaster is my second top feature, if not my favorite feature. What this does is when plays extend, defenders can attach nearby receivers instead of staying locked to an empty space. This helps against scrambling quarterbacks and broken play throws. I know what you're probably saying to yourself, hey, Vicious, how does that separate from look for work? Look for work is more of a, hey, let's say the quarterback's in the pocket, no one's in my zone, I'm going to see and identify what's near that I can pick up. Plaster is really going to come more into play when you have quarterbacks that run out the pocket or trying to extend the play. And I won't lie to you, it is a beauty. You can tell your team to basically look for people around them. So you know those times where people would run to the right or left and maybe they would get like a crossing route or someone comes up over the middle because of the alignment. Plaster helps decrease that. I've had people where I have this on and they're running around like a hellish chicken because no one's open, and they end up just doing that random like throw in the middle, picked off because the defenders are already there, like going after the quarterbacks or the wide receivers. So in my opinion, you need to play with Plaster on aggressive, and we'll go into more other stuff, but in my opinion, it's a game changer, especially if you really hate the scrambling quarterbacks. Now, I will say what this will do is it will still give the quarterbacks the avenue to run around. So you have to have the QB contain or something to stop the quarterback, but you shouldn't really see no more where the quarterback runs out of the pocket and an option just randomly drifts open. With this Plaster on, it's going to make defenders react much more quicker to like those routes coming in, and they're going to stay locked in. So love it. Red zone awareness, improves zone spacing near goal line where the field shrinks and every window gets tighter. I mean, that's just a general in-box thing, I believe. So now, you know, like if you're playing those zones in red zone, they're going to try and be much tighter with the coverage because the space is more condensed. And then focus lets you lean a deep coverage filter to a receiver. If there's one guy you cannot let beat you, now you have a better way to account for him. So this is probably going to come into play a lot more when you're picking specific coverages. These coverages let you kind of put where you want your focus to go. By default, it usually goes to the highest overall person on the field, but you're able to set it to different ones. So you can set it to like wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, tight end 1, and all that fun stuff. Like I said, I love that it's there. I can't say I've used it to where I can say like, oh, this is what this does, but I do love that it's there. Plaster logic. This is a big one. They're right. It is a big one. Plaster is the organized chaos that happens after the play breaks down. In football coverage, this does not stop because the quarterback leaves the pocket. If anything, that is when the coverages become even more disciplined. Off. This is your normal setting. Defenders stay in their assigned zones and do not lock on the receivers. Congressive. Backside zone defenders can abandon their zone and attach to the nearest receiver when the QB leaves the pocket or a timer hits. This helps prevent easy scramble drill throws without completely abandoning the structure of defense. Aggressive. All zone defenders can lock onto the nearest play receiver once Plaster triggers. This gives you maximum man coverage once the play extends, but also means you're giving up your zone help underneath. So, in my opinion, you have to have this on. Now, conservative or aggressive, you have to figure out which one you want to do. With aggressive, you are giving up underneath zones. With conservative, you have your back ends, like, you know, helping out. Now, my belief or how I've been trying to do things is playing on aggressive, because when you have those middle zones, they're able to help out with those routes. Most of the time, if someone's throwing deep, there's already someone kind of with them. So that's why I like the aggressiveness more, but I understand where conservative could come into play. Honestly, I just like having these options now. So like I said, when someone runs out that pocket, you can make the defense come alive and really like figure out what they want to do versus, you know, them just standing there. So yeah, if you have these on, it does prevent those easy touchdowns where someone just runs out to the right. Oh, that person's open, let me throw it. It now means people are going to try to be more active. In my opinion, in the red zone, those shorter areas, conservative. If you have a lot of field, that aggressive is going to be, you know, where you want. But like I said with aggressive, you want to make sure you have a way to compensate for the quarterback running, whether that's contains, a spy, or whatever you're doing, because it is going to give that underneath for them to just, you know, run up in there. You also can control when Plaster activates. You can do it when out of pocket and out of time. Plaster triggers when the QB leaves the pocket and the timer has expired. This is the safest option. Out of pocket, Plaster triggers as soon as the QB leaves the pocket. Time, Plaster triggers after a set amount of time, even the QB is still in the pocket. Me, personally, I like the out of pocket setting because we already know people, if they don't want to be in that, pocket, they're going to run out, right? They're just going to be like, yo, instantly I'm out. So in my opinion, out of the pocket is like the best one to be on, but obviously adjust it based on who you're playing. But if you know you have someone where they show you early on that they're more prone to actually run around in that pocket than run around outside that pocket, out the pocket's the best thing to have on. And you control how quickly it happens. Plaster kicks aggressive, Plaster kicks in earlier, default, balanced Plaster timing, conserve defender stands online before locking on. In my opinion, aggressive. If you know that someone's running around back there, put it on aggressive. Don't give them any slack or leeway. But once again, having these options is groundbreaking. Now, as we've gotten so far, they've given us a good amount of little stuff here, and you might be telling yourself, that sounds cool. They are game changers because it does change structurally how defense works here. I know it's something where it's like, I want to see to believe, which I totally get, but realize they're addressing now if a quarterback is running out of the pocket and they're trying to find another option or open thing, it's addressing how strict your defense plays against that. And trust me, as someone who's kind of seen in action, people who don't really know how to read or be improvisational, make plays, they're going to run around back there with their head cut off because they're like, wait, where's my easy play at? I ran to the right and I could throw that bitch 50 yards down the field because no one's there. This is a game changer. It does lock that up. Roll coverage. Roll coverage gives you extra ways to lean extra coverage to help towards specific threat. Sometimes you are not just calling the coverage, you're calling the coverage with a purpose. So if you call a defensive play where it has roll in it, then you're able to play these roll rules. So as you can see, the first one is fastest. Shade helps toward the offensive fastest player. Field, shade help towards the wide side of the field. Boundary, shade help towards that short side of the field. Highest overall, shade to help towards the offensive higher rated player. That's usually the default one that it's on. Pass strength, shade help towards the side with more receiving threats. Wide receiver 1, 2, 3, TE1, TE2, shade help towards specific offensive target. So if you have any coverage where it has roll in it, you can use these as different ways to fight. I think honestly, you'll pick which option you feel like most best hits you. I still am, trying to get my hand around things, so I haven't really seen or utilized roll coverage like that. But I do feel like I said, having more options is always a good thing. And if you're like, okay, this tight end's been killing me a lot, let me call this and make sure I shade it towards that tight end or shade it towards that wide receiver. I feel like this year, based on this gameplay blog, is really if you know on defense what someone's going to do, we will give you tools to stop it. And that's a very, very prominent thing. I know you're going to go to the right, and I put that you're going to the right, you're getting stopped going to the right. Man coverage answers. Man coverage also gets more tools here, especially against stack, bunches, and traffic. That matters because modern offenses are built to create free releases, rubs, picks, and matchup problems. If the offense is going to use formation structure to create space, the defense needs answers that make sense. So, once again, this goes into defensive pre-play adjustments you can make. There is a whole thing on how you want man coverage to react. Now, against stack formations, you can do the combo where defenders read the release and can trade assignments. One takes the inside route, one takes the outside route. You have the triangle and cover 2 man, free defenders cover 2 stack defenders. The safety bracket, the deeper threat, or the route that breaks to his side. Top hat, defenders switch who takes the front receiver and who takes the back receiver in the stack. Lock, defenders stay locked onto original assignments with no switching. Lock is the default that we're used to man coverage. The ones that I just read you are the new additions. I know some people are like, hey, when I call these stack formations, a bunch of formations, not to use man because man would get tore up. They're giving you tools to use man based off real NFL principles where they'll say, okay, I'm going to cover this inside dude, but when it gets to this point, I'm switching off and my teammate's going to cover them. This gives you more reason to use man to help spread and, variety. I love this because I hate okay, I gotta always kind of use zone on this, or if I'm trying to catch him off guard, maybe pop in a man. This is now giving tools to help defend against these formations. Now, obviously, you have to test and see how well it works, but to have more options. And that's the whole thing with this year. You're given more options to do things is phenomenal. Against bunch formations, you could do point combo, the defender to point receiver locks on while the defenders read and exchange routes. Point triangle and cover 2-man, 4 defenders handle free bunch receivers with safety help bracketing the deeper or most dangerous route. In my opinion, when you go to your defensive adjustment, you want to set up one of these so that you're able to have this on so you don't have to think about it. Because obviously, like if you see bunch or you see trips or anything of those stack formations, you may forget like, oh, you have these options. That's why it's good to set this up pre-play. But in my opinion, I had amazing. I haven't seen it in action yet. I'm eager to see it, but it is nice knowing like, hey, there's more weapons for you to use on defense to combat the offense. Match coverage checks. We added more coverage checks to help defense handle them on offensive formation like stacks, bunch trips, and isolated receivers. These are real football answers to get real coverage problems. Keep in mind that Madden, due to the complexity of the NFL game, will have all coverage checks. College will have the basic checks and a few more options. You will see these checks across cross-free man, quarters, palms, and cover 6. So what this means now, because this doesn't explain it or give it to you that well, but when you go into the game and you're in your pre-play or even on the menu, you're gonna see a section for cover 3, quarters, palms, and cover 6, and you're able to put in those sections how you want your defense to react in those situations against those formations. So you can have them be boxed where defenders own a direction around a bunch set, such as deep outside, deep inside, flat, or short inside. Bingo, similar to box, but it gives outside corner special rules on number 1 receiver. If the number 1 stays outside, the corner can lock on them. If he crosses inside, the coverage falls back to his normal rules. Triangle, create a 3 over 2 or 4 over free structure where defenders can combo routes underneath while the safety brackets the deeper threat. Point triangle, built for bunch looks. This is where the point receiver accounted for. It helped layers around the other routes. Skate, underneath defenders widen towards a bunch of trips to take away the quick throws. Skinny, more aggressive match rules where defenders can carry vertical and outside releases based on how the routes develop. Skinny mag, similar to skinny, but the backside corner locks onto the isolated receiver, giving you tighter coverage from the bunch of trip side. Stress helps prevent breakdowns against all verticals by converting deep defenders into zone spacing instead of chasing everything. Stubble, a trip side check where the corner locks on number 1 while the nickel safety and underneath defenders share number 2 and number 3. Stump, similar to stubble, but gives the defense better help against short routes from number 1. Solo, the backside corner locks to the lone receiver, filling the safety to help elsewhere. Solo cut, the safety takes the short inside break route from the lone receiver, freeing the corner to help away from that side. Zone, it turns off match and let everyone play straight zone. All right, I just read a lot. There's a lot there. I am telling you right now, this game is going to require you to go in there and experiment and see how things run, because you are now given so much options, right? When you go against people who play bunch, who play those stacks, all of them are maybe trying to do different things or similar things. You're being given different ways to handle whatever they want to do. Skate, underneath defenders widen towards bunch of trips to take away quick throws. People who do those quick little bunch throws where it's like one just randomly goes out to the corner, no one's there. Skate addresses that. You have so many ways to attack a coverage that you have to now go on that screen and think about, okay, well, what do I want to set up my defense like? This is going to be a year where you can't just stay stock and in the box. They're giving you all of these tools to address what the offense does, and you have to go and utilize them. So you have to go and read and think about, okay, what am I seeing them do? Obviously, as a user, you'll be able to come in and make your own coverage twist, but this is now telling the AI, hey, here's how you handle this. We already know with cover 3, the seams are usually wide open, right? With these settings, you can now make it be where the seams aren't as exposed, because you're saying, hey, if you see a vertical route coming as a safety, I want you to attack it. I want you to do this. It gives you so much more tools. Now, one of the friends that I know was like, oh man, it kind of just sounds like people who stay in cover 3, they're gonna have more tools to defend it, so they don't have to get out of cover 3. Yes and no. Yes, they're gonna have more tools to defend it, but in regards to getting out of cover 3, each of these things have drawbacks. They tell you what the drawback is. You have to be able to recognize, okay, I think this is the tendency that he's going for. Let's try and break it. So I think it's a good chess match, but once again, and it's the theme of the whole video, more options is always a good thing. Double team and matchup tools. We've also added more tools to help deal with elite offensive weapons. Double team automatically brackets the user selected receiver. Roll coverage, shift coverage help towards a specific target. Crossman coverage returns for improved matchup handling. If you remember the Crossman, where people were essentially taking like the safety on the left side and having them cover someone on the right and vice versa. This makes it so like when the person on the right is running over, people think it's open, but the safety's coming down. And if you throw it during that crucial window, the safety can make make a pick, or whoever you have make a pick. That's now returned because you couldn't do that before. Improve route commit win percentages, rewards correct defensive commitments more consistently. This affects your breaks in both man and zone. So as you know, with route commit, you can commit to either the inside or the outside. If you guess right, there's more opportunity for you to win, whether that's getting a pick or just stopping it. You also can enhance this by with that cornerback width that I was talking about earlier. If you play tight or you play wide, that also gives you a leverage. But if you do that in addition to route committing, you're increasing your chances even more. So fun mind games to play. Defensive playbooks built for identity. One of the bigger areas of growth this year, defensive playbooks in college football 27, we expanded from 9 defensive books to 31, added 22 new playbooks around modern college defensive philosophy and identities. And this is important to us because today's game defense do not line up differently. They think differently, they solve problems differently, they attack offenses differently. Philosophy now shows up immediately when you enter a playbook. Man pressure playbooks, surface pressure man counts early, shell defenses emphasize split structure safety. The zone pressure systems are built around the stimulated pressure and zone integrity behind it. The identity defense now shows up directly in how the playbook is organized and called. At the core of the expansion are 6 defensive styles: man pressure, shell, zone pressure, multiple. Each of the 138 teams map to one of these styles, helping weekly matches feel more distinct while giving users more freedom to build their own defensive identity. And with these styles comes major additions to formations and personnel grouping. This year we added 16 new defensive formations, including free 5-3 high over, 4-2-5-3 high, 3-4 grizzly, nickel double mug looks, wide jack front, single mug dime packages, new tight and underneath under fronts. Several new pressure structures built specifically to answer modern spread offenses. These are backed by a large expansion of new plays and packages designed to better handle tempo, spacing, RPOs, mobile quarterbacks, and the multiplicity we see in today's college game. We also made structural improvements across the existing package. Dollar personnel now properly uses 4 safety and 2 cornerbacks. CB1 alignment is now standardized to better match wide receiver 1 alignment and improve matchup consistency. Defensive audibles now transition much more naturally across fronts and personnel grouping, especially in nickel structures. This last point was huge for us. So basically they're trying to tell you now when you make those audibles on defense, you're seeing your nickels and other things naturally be on it versus them not. I think, as you know, last year, if you play with auto flip off, the nickel corner wouldn't necessarily be where the slot receiver is. It sounds like this year they're making it more a point to have that nickel corner always be around so that you don't need to have that auto flip on to get that tendency. In previous years, some audible transitions could create awkward reshuffling between edges of defenders and off-ball linebackers. Now defenders move much more naturally from one front to another, helping checks feel cleaner, faster, more effective before the snap. So basically, you're not going to see very much awkward movement of people run to each other, or it's just looking unorganized. Sub packages were also cleaned up and standardized across fronts to improve personnel consistency and control in key situations. Wide receiver DB battles win correctly at the line. Some of the biggest plays in the passing game are won before the ball ever leaves the quarterback's hand. This is why we spent a lot of this year on the press game and wide receiver DB interactions. We wanted to leverage to matter more. We wanted route intent to matter more. We wanted the battle between wide receiver and defensive backs to feel less random and more like football. In previous years, receivers and press situations were mostly focused on one thing: beat the press. That was it. They did not always care if they won inside or outside. They were trying to win the immediate interaction. But in real football, that is not enough. A receiver's running the slant does not want to win outside and then fight back across the defender. A receiver running the out corner or comeback or outside hitch does not want to get forced inside and lose the spacing each for the route. So this year we've added more route awareness paths to press interactions. Now the route the receiver is running helps determine where he wants to win. If he's running an outside breaking route, he wants to release outside. If he's running an inside breaking route like a slant digger post, he wants to win inside. You reverse it. Want to win outside first and then inside. Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. This may sound simple, but it changes a lot because now leverage matters on both sides of the ball. If you put your defensive back in inside leverage, you have a better chance to challenge routes that want to break inside. If you play outside leverage, you're in a better position to defend routes trying to win outside. Ratings still matter. They matter a lot. We are not trying to create a world where a low-tier DB can line up inside and always erase an elite receiver on the slant just because you picked the right leverage. Talent still has to show up, but football IQ to show up too. This is the chess match we wanted, not just press to press, no ratings versus ratings football. So what they're really telling you is we've now given you a lot of tools where as on the cornerback side, you can either play inside tight or you can play wide outside. On the receiving side or offensive side, the receivers are now thinking, I'm running the slant, I'm trying to break to get that slant. I'm not trying to, break to the outside and have to come back to the slant. And ultimately what they're saying is if you have someone that's low rated, while they could have the right leverage, they may not be able to handle that talent that's coming at them. And people know that, right? If you know that, if you know like you're going against someone talented and you can guess right or whatever, but they still overwhelm you, that's a natural thing. Once again, adds more battles to it, adds more things to think about. Love it. Chess matches, they say. Wide receiver DB jostling, making man coverage more physical. The next piece is jaw style. Jaw style is about making man coverage feel more connected, more physical, more viable for defenders who win with coverage skill, not just raw speed. These are different points during routes where defensive backs can engage in jostile interaction with the receiver. The defender determines when he wants to challenge that route, and then the interaction happens. Ratings help determine who wins. If a receiver wins, he keeps his route clean and continues working. If the defender wins, he affects the receiver's speed and timing. This is important. For a long time, there's been defensive backs in franchise dynasty and play now who had strong coverage ratings, but were not always usable because they did not have top end speed. You might see a guy with great man coverage, but if his speed was not high enough, you felt like you could not put him on the field. I know that. I mean, I always played with like people who had the better high coverage, but as you know, people feel like Madden in these games, speed is king. So like they'll take the bum 50-60 with 96 speed who sucks at coverage. That's because like, well, he's not going to get burnt. We wanted to give those players more value. A defender has great coverage ratings. He should have a chance to stay connected, get hands on the receiver, disrupt timing, and somewhat neutralize speed through techniques. We're not talking about completely tanking a receiver speed or letting the defender hold all the way down the field. That is not a goal. The goal is to make coverage skills matter. This is football. So what they're basically trying to tell you is if you're going against someone who doesn't have really high top end speed, but really good coverage skills, they're not going to get flat out burnt anymore. They're going to jostle. They're going to try and hold the right receiver to kind of slow him down. Stuff like you kind of see in real life where, you know, sometimes someone doesn't break clean. Sometimes the defender's right on their hip, and it's like, what can they do to get them off? Can they make the catch over them? Does the defender kind of use that to get, swat the ball down? You're going to see that play out more. Really, what I take from this is if you have a team with slow DBs, shout out to my boy Fred, you should no longer just be getting burnt, because now the DBs, like, they're slow. They should be trying now to interact and jostle with the wide receivers, especially when you call that man coverage. Because press matters more now. Jaw style matters more now. Leverage matters more now. When all those pieces work together, wide receiver DB battles become more physical, more strategic, and more rewarding on both sides of the ball. Built from game day. Now we move into built from game day. The gameplay pillar is centered around authenticity, what we actually see on Saturday and Sunday, from playbook, center animation differentiations to tempo and play styles, trench battles, and much more. The goal this year is simple: continue to build gameplay that reflects the modern game. Short yardage gameplay. When you look at our game compared to real life, inside the 3-yard line was where things started to look distinctively different. Even when both teams came out in heavy personnel, whether it was 12 or 13 personnel with the defensive front pitched down, the chaos inside the box just did not feel authentic. The collisions, the congestion, the fight for space, and the overall trench battle did not fully catch what we see every Saturday and Sunday. So this year's short yardage gameplay is getting a major refresh in both games. In fact, this is one of the first game players who started rebuilding the cycle because how important these moments were. The goal line stand a moment, 4th and inches in a moment. You are fighting for inches, and we wanted every yard to feel earned. You will see a major improvement in the trench interaction, pile movements, correct contextual animations, and overall visual improvement of physicality inside the box. And yes, the tush push is officially in the game, but only in Madden 27. That's going to be very interesting to see, but let's continue. QB sneak meter. The goal is to make sneaks and goal line pushes not feel automatic. These are some of the bigger moments in football. We wanted to overcome we wanted the outcome to feel tied to timing, radius, and leverage, momentum, and battle happening up front. So how does this work? Before the snap, the game evaluates the push strength for your center, guards, and quarterback against the shed strength for the defenders lined up closest to the ball. Strength, weight, block strength, and overall trench leverage all factor into that battle. If the defense is winning up front before the ball's even snapped, your timing window becomes smaller. If the offense has the advantage, your window gets larger. Heavy quarterbacks also matter more here, with quarterback push strength influenced by both strength and weight ratings. Once the meter begins, your job is to hit the time window as cleanly as possible. A perfect snap gives you the best chance at a major push up front, while poor timing can lead to defense blowing up the play in the backfield. Situation also matters. Higher difficulties, home field advantage, and more defenders in the box. Longer yard situations, late game pressure, and high stress moments can speed the meter up and make timing more difficult. The system is layered on top of rating battles already happening in the trenches, so even perfect time does not guarantee success if the defense completely outmatches you physically. The idea was to create a system where the sneaks, goal line stands, and those fight for inches moments feel tense, physical, and well earned every single time. So if you watch the trailer, they kind of show this. I believe it's in the Madden 27 trailer. Basically, when you now try to do a QB sneak, it's going to have a meter. The meter is going to look much like the kicking meter, but instead of it going up, it goes side to side. Green's in the middle, red is at the outside, and then you have the yellow. Obviously, what they're saying, if you get green, that's like your, perfect. Everyone's coming out. We should, for the most part, get positive yards, but sometimes, like it says in the article, things can happen. Yellow, you're not guaranteed success, but they're going to try to make a push. Red, you're going to get blown up. Online, this is going to be interesting because you now have to time that meter, so it's another time mechanic. It's going to be one of those things where I do wonder if because of that meter, people are going to opt against doing like QB sneaks, instead go for like, play action plays or things of that nature. I will say, and it does tell you too, like the more stuff you do to defend a QB sneak, the shorter that window gets, and you can see it in real time. So like if you pinch your line, if you bring people all the way up, it's going to make that meter much harder to hit versus if you don't do anything and the meter's at the standard. It also told you, like I said, based on the timing of when you're doing it, like if it's going to be like this will seal the game or such, the meter's going to go quick. I'm interested to see how it plays out. I think for a lot of us, our games don't come down to a QB sneak, but having something there to help impact those moments, can't say I'm against it. Now, how does the meter play out to where I'm okay with it? We'll see, but I do like the idea that, hey, it's now like a game of this is not automatic. You gotta have to work for this. More control up front. Sure, Yardage is not the only area we want the box to feel smarter. We also added more control to the run game, protection game, defensive front behavior. ID Mike has been updated for the run game, giving you more control over how blockers identify threats, assign pullers, and adjust targeting rules based on the run scheme. If there's a user defender you're worried about or a specific target you need to block scheme to account for, you now have more tools to key in that player. So they're basically saying now, when you do ID to Mike, this can help identify for your O-line, like who they need to block and who they need to get after. As you know, in years past, if you ID'd a user, it didn't always work out. They weren't really aggressive. It kind of sounds like now if you ID a user, the O-line will be much more aggressive, getting their way and kind of stopping them and slowing them down. We've also added an option to allow the offense to leave the user defender untargeted by default, either through coaching adjustments or on the field through protection menu. That gives players more control over how they want their protection and blocking rules to behave. So if you know someone is like lined up over the line and they're not really going to run in, they're probably going to run back out, you can kind of put it so that they become unblocked. Obviously, the chess match of this is if they do end up running, they have gap integrity, they're going to blow up and, probably hit you. So once again, kind of playing those mind games. On defense, we add a new gap integrity coaching adjustment. This lets you decide how strictly your defenders play their assigned run fits. Conservative tells defenders to shed towards their assigned gap and maintain structure. You may give a fewer explosive runs, but you also are less likely to get those big splash plays outside of your assignment. Aggressive gives defenders more freedom to shed in any direction and try to make a play. This can create big wins, but if you get strong or lose structure, you can open up major run lanes. So now you kind of can set like how you want your gap integrity to work. If you got someone that is really just running on you and you want to make a play, you can set it as aggressive, or you set it as conservative where you tell people, hey, stick where you're at and we're gonna, just play textbook defense. You got different options. Once again, more options, never a bad thing. But I hope by now you're realizing like you're gonna have to go in those adjustments and make them to counteract these things, because it's like you got the tools, but you have to use them. We've also added defensive aggression, which controls how fast and aggressively your defense plays against the run. Conservative has linebackers slow play to run, stay more prepared for play action, preserve stamina, and avoid some of the risk that comes with aggressive mechanics. Aggressive tells the defenders to play fast downhill. They will attack harder, use more aggressive mechanics, and have a higher chance of big wins, but they also give up bigger mistakes, bite harder on play action, commit more penalties, and tire out faster. That is the trade-off. Play fast and make big plays, but if you're wrong, it can cost you. I think, once again, that aggressive is going to be more for when the offense is going to run, there's going to be no play action. Like, you just know that they're going to be going for it. That's where you can go with that aggressiveness. The conservative, I feel like, is what you'll use when you're like not quite sure, you don't want to chance anything. But love that this is an option, right? Once again, you're giving me more options of like, hey, do I want my defense to go all out, or do I want it to, kind of chill, lay back? So love this as an option. Kind of want to see how it plays out though. On the protection side, we add a new chip op mechanic to give users more pass blocking customization. You can now ask a tight end or halfback to chip a defender on their way out into a route. Any route can be assigned to a chip. If the defender is in the blocker's pants, he will try to slow down before releasing. Depending on the win-loss outcome, the chip can knock the defender off his rush path, or it can distort the blocker's route. This makes it a great tool for good blocking tight ends or back release into short checkdowns, especially when they're trying to slow down an elite edge rusher. The theme of all this is control. Short yards should feel heavy. The transition should feel smarter. When the game is decided by 1 yard, your timing, your rate, the adjustments, your game plan should all matter. The chip mechanic is very interesting because you're telling them like, hey, go after that blocker, knock them out their route. Kind of interested to see how that plays out. Won't lie to you. There's a lot of stuff in here. Like, during the course of one game, you're probably not going to get to experience the play and realize, right? This is going to be a very big marathon where you're really having to go back and see, like, okay, in this situation, what could I have done differently? So I'm interested to see how that works with the chip mechanic, but so far, I'm impressed. Coach DNA 2.0. Sorry, hold on. Let's see. This year, coaches have far more identity, adaptability, and awareness built into how they call games, sponsorship, and tackle points of the course of the matchup. Code dimensions can be a huge shell. See, this is all stuff I feel like goes into the game planning. Yeah, that's like the computer calling plays and such. So it sounds like, though, for coach speak, you're going to get more options when you do coach suggestions, which I got to lean more into this year. I don't really use a lot of coach suggestions, so good to know that they're improving it and looking at more situational side of things. ML ball carrier pathing. It sounds like this is how AIs can run the ball better. If you play a lot of Dynasty and such, it's probably important. I don't really play a lot of Dynasty or AI stuff, but I'm glad to know that AI has gotten, increased love when it comes to the running game. Hot and cold Madden. Hot and cold is something we felt was needed for a long time, and honestly, it's something we are really excited to get into the game. The goal is to make momentum, confidence, and emotional swings feel more authentic to real football and not random. Anything that adds more dynamic and authentic emotion to football is important to us. Confidence and momentum you get from it is real. A quarterback gets hot and starts seeing the field differently. A receiver drops a pass, suddenly starts pressing. Defender gets an interception and starts flying around with confidence. That is football. The system is brand new to Madden NFL 27 while College Football 27. Outside of some tuning and balance updates, it will feel very similar to what you guys already know and love. The difference is really in how the systems are tuned between the two games. In college football, the emotional swings are bigger. The highs can get really high and the lows can get hit hard. These are younger players deal with momentum swings, crowd pressure, rivalry games, and emotional environments every single week. In Madden, the system is tuned more from NFL perspective. Players are more composed, more experienced, and more mentally steady. The highs can still be highs, but the lows are not nearly as extreme. Big plays, touchdowns, interceptions, catches, sacks, momentum-building moments can push players towards hot. Mistakes like interceptions, drops, fumbles, missed kicks, and negative plays can push players towards cold, and that's just not visual. When players get hot, they perform better and can maintain access to their X-Factor abilities. When players go cold, performance can dip, and certain X-Factor abilities can temporarily shut off until that player settles back in. We'll talk about what we did with abilities, but we have a few more things to get through first. Coach chat in college. Basically, what this is telling you is, you'll see this icon here. You're able to eventually use a coach chat to like calm a player down. So if you see that they're like, struggling or such, you can use the coach chat. Looks like I think you can use up to like maybe 3 times. Oh, that's 2 times in the game. Here, we'll zoom it in a little bit more. But you can use it up to 2 times in the game to essentially calm your players down. So, interesting little tidbit there. And basically, it's like I think it says on the next possession, they'll return to more balanced emotional state. You only get free coach chats per game. Situated matters. The young player in a hostile role environment. The rival game may need it more than a veteran normal conference matchup. Yeah. Home field advantage is now in Madden. Home field advantage coming back to Madden. Honestly, it had to. It's coming back more offensive than ever. When you talk about NFL home field, it absolutely matters as much as it pains me as a lifelong Rams fan to say this. There's a real argument that Seattle hosting 3 NFC championship games, the difference maker between the Seahawks, Rams, or 49ers coming out of the NFC last year. So congratulations to Seahawks fans, even though it still hurts a little bit. But that is real football. When we started building the system, it was important that we paid off the loudest and most unique environments in NFL. Stadiums like Kansas City, New Orleans, Seattle, Buffalo, Denver, Green Bay, and others around the league are not just loud, they're hostile. In fact, from a decibel standpoint, Arrowhead's literally registered louder than LSU at night, and we know that kind of atmosphere needed to exist in Madden. But home field advantage in the NFL is not just about noise. Different stadiums create different problems for road teams. Wind and weather conditions can impact kicking in places like Buffalo and Chicago. Denver's altitude changes affect stamina and ball travel. Frozen conditions in Green Bay can wear teams down over the course of the game. Loud stadiums like Seattle, Kansas, and New Orleans can disrupt communication and pre-play adjustments, making it difficult during key moments. Now, keep in mind, NFL players are professionals. They're not the same emotional environment you see in college football, where the freshman quarterback walks in a Death Valley at night and completely melts down. The level of chaos still belongs on Saturday, but in Madden, hostile road environments still matter. And importantly, these effects are designed to only impact the road team. You'll see communication issues. You'll feel the pressure of a loud road game. Depending on the stadium situation, you'll see subtle camera shakes, crowd sensitivity built, and a live decibel meter similar to what you see in NFL broadcasts. It's not going to dominate a screen like the college football pulse stadium, but you will see things that squiggly route art. And you will not see things like squiggly route art in Madden. We want the NFL presentation to remain clean off into the Sundays. But make no mistake, if you're playing on one of the tough stadiums in the league, you're going to feel it. The system is built primarily for simulation franchise players, so it's not on and online head-to-head. So just so you know. One important note of advantage effects will not be active in Madden Ultimate Team online play, which I assume is going to probably be the same for rank head-to-head play as well. But yeah, dynamic weather. The next big area is dynamic weather. When you talk about weather impacting gameplay, it's something we've been focused on over the last couple of years, but now the game really changes because weather is no longer static. Before it rained, just rained the whole game. It snowed the whole game. Now weather evolves dynamically throughout the game and changes everything. The game can start clearing slowly, snow in the second half, rain can build over time and then clear out. Snow can stop, then pick up later. Conditions can now shift dynamically throughout the game. Because of that, the feel, visuals, and atmosphere of the game can shift with it. And all this goes to built from gameplay. You saw last season the Broncos Patriots SC Championship game. Once the weather turned and the snow really started coming down, the entire feel of the game changed. The pace changed, the footing changed, the atmosphere changed. This is real football. We wanted to capture that. Weather is now offensive to both location and time of the year. And Madden, the month of when season influences precipitation chances, meaning weather patterns feel more offensive to when the games are actually being played. Kickoff time and some position are also offensive to real world. 5:15 kickoff at San Francisco looks like and feels like a real 5:15 kickoff at San Francisco. You also see major visual improvements tied to weather and field conditions. Snow now dynamically accumulates on the field throughout the game. Surface glitch and tech allows players to physically disturb the snow, slide through it, and leave marks and trails behind. If a player falls in the snow, you will see snow angel style surface deformation and interaction on the field. Player degradation has also taken a major step forward. Uniform, helmets, pants, and overall player appearance now degrade dynamically throughout the game based on the weather and field conditions. Mud, snow, rain, and field wear build naturally over time, helping games tell more authentic visual stories just from kickout to final whistle. This is one of those features that impacts both gameplay and weather at the same time. Honestly, shout out to everyone who played a part in making this happen because technology and offensively pulled off here. Seriously impressive. I just want to know if it's going to be like an online head-to-head games. I assume probably not because people complain when things change, but I'd be down for like dynamic weather in an online head-to-head rank matchup. Abilities, growth versus dominance. This year we brought the ability system between both games with a much more unified and player-facing structure. Now to be clear, the back-end foundation of these systems has always been shared similarities internally, but from a player perspective, college football and Madden abilities often felt like they were completely different languages that created confusion when moving between games and made it harder for us to build a true shared football identity across both experiences. One day that became loud and clear from your feedback was your preference for a tiered ability system introducing college football. So now that philosophy finally comes to Madden NFL as well, but in a very different way. Both games now share the same core ability architects. The logics, triggers, activation rules, and gameplay directives are all built from the same foundation. That means when you learn how the ability works on one game, then all transfer directly to the other. But here's where it gets interesting. The shared system does not mean the abilities feel the same. In fact, we designed them to feel distinctly different because football is different at those levels. In college football, abilities scale. You have 5 tiers: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, Heisman. As players progress through these college careers, their abilities grow with them. A bronze tier ability gives you the foundation, silver improves on it, gold takes another step, platinum is the lead, and when you hit Heisman, that's when the player's truly playing out of his mind. The distinction matters. Heisman tiers is not something the player simply has all the time. It's something you can reach during a critical game when the player is dominating a lot and taking over the moment. College players are still developing. A freshman may flash elite potential, but he is not finished product yet. The ability system reacts to that journey, but you can dominate in college, but you can absolutely reach the highest level of enrollment, but you are building towards something. And Madden abilities stack. You have 3 tiers: bronze, silver, gold. But here's the difference. Each tier does not simply scale a number. Each tier can unlock something entirely new on top of what you already have. Taking forward at bronze, you unlock increased hit stick success. This is already a game-changing tool. At silver, your time one of those hits becomes more forgiving. At gold, you add a fumble chance bonus on top of everything else. This is not progression, it's accumulation. Lurker works the same way. Bronze unlocks jumping interceptions and diving slots. Moves that are simply not available without ability. Silver adds elite tip ball reactions. Gold gives you improved ball security and returns plus unlimited stamina after the interception. Damn. Gunslinger, acrobat, escape art, these powers exist across the board. Bronze gives you the core unlock. Silver and gold continue stacking additional layers on top. That is the Madden difference. The college football players are still growing to the game, and Madden, the primary football career, lives here. These are not prospects developing over 4 years. These are professionals who have already put work in. The athletic bar is higher. The specialization is greater. And when a player earns the ability in Madden, they should feel elite immediately. Bronze is not the starting point of a journey here. It's more of a payoff for your hard work and skills. This is also why Madden abilities lean more on specialization. Archetypes still matter for balance, roster building, franchise progression, but team construction, yada yada. College will be dominant. All right. Abilities in the hot and cold system. Madden players will see how to order to activate the X Factor abilities. As the player goes cold, X Factor shuts off until they settle back and rebuild momentum. This is important to us because confidence, momentum, and composure matter in football. When the player is rolling, you feel it. When the things start to go sideways, even elite players can lose rhythm. The difference is how dynamic those emotional swings are between the two games. In college football, outside of some tuning balance updates, the hot and cold system works similarly to what players already are familiar with. Blah, blah, blah. In Madden, the system is tuned for more professional perspective, and if a player is more composed, more experienced, and more mentally steady, the swing still happens. Gotcha. Let's see. Play your way. Coach mode. Play call substitutions. Last year we introduced dynamic subs. This would clearly like the feature, but one piece of feedback that came from line players on more control over the personnel before breaking the huddle. This is where play call substitutions come in. You can now make personal changes directly from your play call screen, giving you fast access to the matches and packages you want to fill before snap. The goal was simple here. What also in play include wear and tear confidence, composure, and how to code. We want players to be able to freely move personal in and out of the game without consistently needing to enter the pause screen. This system works very similar to dynamic substitutional depth chart substitutions underneath the hood. Once you make a substitution, it sticks, ensuring personnel decisions remain strategic, deliberate, and impactful throughout the game. This seems dope. I haven't really seen how that can be looked or worked at, but it do seem like a dope prospect. Like I said, there's a lot to this game this year that you have to kind of sit in there and try. Timing-based catching, more control to a catch point. Let's talk about one of the big things in the coaching game this year. Timing-based catching. We've all been there. It's 3rd and 8. You call the right play. You get the look you wanted. You show the screenshot. You throw that stem shot against cover 3. You hit them in the numbers, and the DB gets a hand on this shoulder pad. Boom, the ball's on the ground. This one hurts. Because of that moment as a player, you feel like you did everything right. You made the right call. You made the right read. You put the ball where it needed to be. So when the results are dropped, it can feel like the game just decided for you. That's exactly why timing-based catching was so important for this year. Drops are always one of the hardest things to tune because everyone sees them differently. One player may look at a play and say he should have held on to that. Another player may look at that same exact play and say no, that's when contact and everything that should be incomplete. For us, the key is ownership and power in your hands now. With timing-based catch enabled, once you throw the ball, you don't have to switch onto the player receiver to influence the cat. After the pass is released, you press and hold the catch button you want, aggressive possession or rack, and from there your catch meter begins to fill, and your job is to release the button as close to the green window as possible. Pro tip, you want to release the button before the ball gets to receiver hands. This is where timing and skill comes in. The meter is broken to free main result zone. Slightly early, this is the rating-based diet flow window. Perfect, this is the green window where you hit the timing clean. Late, this is the late time where you miss the ideal moment. The yellow slightly early window is important because that's based additional catch outcome. If you turn the time-based catching off, these catches are being resolved through the same type of rating-driven logic you're used to. So TBC is not removing the old system, it's adding a layer on top of it. Now let's talk about what affects the green window. The perfect window starts with your difficulty in game style. If you're playing a competitive setting, the window's going to be tighter. If the receiver is wide open, standing flat-footed, and making an easy catch, the window is going to be much easier to hit. Football's not always clean. Coverage can shrink that window. Catch difficulty can shrink the window. Sideline catches, toes, diving, aggressive catches, and all those. I know I probably should have tried that. One had a tendency to make the timing. I know I tried to make the timing window tougher. This is where ratings come into play. So if the catch is so difficult, ratings like check on the catch help protect the receiver from that penalty. So if you're trying to dive and catch an elite receiver, his green window is not going to get punished by the same way a lower rated receiver would. Coverage works the same way. There are different levels of coverage: open, partially covered, and smothered. Tighter coverage or more green window can be affected, but again, the ratings matter. A receiver with a great catch in traffic is going to handle that coverage penalty better than a player who is not strong at the moments. So if an elite receiver is tightly covered, he still has a better chance to give you playable timing window. If a lower rated receiver is in the same situation, the window is going to be much tougher. And you do not have to have the yellow window. The window is driven by the player's raw catch rating. It does not shrink based on coverages on catch difficulty. It's your additional rating based outcome. So what does it all mean? It means the catch point now is more layers. Your timing matters, the receiver's rating matters, the coverage matters, the catch line matters, situation matters. We're not trying to make every catch automatic. We're not trying to make ratings disappear, and we're not trying to turn the catch game into something that feels disconnected from football. We're trying to give you more ownership over the bigger moments in the game. When you make the right read, throw the ball on time, choose the right catch time, and hit the time when you should feel that, and you miss it, you should know you missed it. That's what timing-based catch is all about: more control, more skill, more ownership at the catch point. This is actually a pretty dope feature. Now, you have to turn it on, and when you turn it on, you have to indicate like when you want to activate, like on throws that are past 0 yards or throws that are over 5 yards, etc. Like it says, when the ball's going towards you, you need to hold down the catch button you want, and then you release it before it gets to the wide receiver's hands. If it's green, it has like a green meter that shows. What this does is when you have those crucial downs, you now have some accountability to it, right? So instead of like, oh, I hit the button and then react, with this on, you're now going to see a reaction, right? I think it's going to take a while to get used to because it's like an extra layer of things to do. Like when the ball's in the air, like now you have to try and hold down the catch button you want. But I do think it's important to have on because now when you throw those risky type throws, this is the system that allows you to kind of pull off that amazing green catch, trying to basically like cover up like a ball not going the way you want. Without it on, it goes on a traditional system. In my opinion, give yourself the extra boost and try it. Turn it on, see how it goes, but in my opinion, it's a great feature. Tackling improvements and the new tackle stick. The goal was improve control, physicality, and tackle variety while making open field defense feel more responsive and authentic across the board. One of the biggest additions to tackling is the new tackle stick. The philosophy behind it was simple. As a user, you should never have to come off the right stick to make a tackle defensively. Now every direction on the right stick directly maps to a tackling mechanic. Up is the hit stick we all know and love. Down is the cut stick. Left is lunge tackle. Right is the wrap tackle. Outside the tackle stick itself, we also made major improvements to tackle behavior and physical interactions. Arm tackles now have improved wrap coverage against defenders who over-pursue or under-pursue angles. Directional stiff arms now allow ball carriers to influence type of stiff arm using the left stick, including decleats, jabs, and throw-bys. High hit power defenders carrying momentum will now more consistently drive smaller ball carriers backwards on contact. Increased dive through and unprotected ball carrier wrap coverage creates more high impact wraps and bigger collision moments. In air, tackle interactions receive visual improvements, reducing unnatural pop-ups and awkward vertical movement after contact. Low and leg wrap tackles are now more appropriately favored by smaller defenders, while bigger defenders lean into tackle types that are better reflect their size and strength. The overall goal is to make tackling feel more physical, more responsive, and more offensive to the type of defender making the play. Interesting to see how all this plays out, because I'm sure we all have seen those moments where like small defenders are able to like get like a crazy hit stick, or if you have a bigger running back, you don't really feel that momentum to carry you, and if you have a defender that kind of has someone dead to rights, you don't feel that momentum of pushing them back. So interesting to see how that works. I always hate where you get on a tackle and they like push the dude forward, like the defenders themselves do it. So I'm hoping this means we're going to see less of that, but remains to be seen. Formation shift returns. Formation shifts are back in with more modern authentic implementation. At the play call screen, users can now toggle formation shifts directly at the play level. From there, you can cycle through eligible formations that share the same personal grouping as your selected play. The process is simple. Choose your base play, toggle formation shifts, select the eligible formation with matching personnel, break the huddle, align and shift the formation before the snap. The key here is that personnel stays intact while the presentation changes. You can now disguise intentions, sequence formations together more naturally, and manipulate defensive recognition in ways that better mirror real offensive coordinator tactics. And because the system is personnel aware, it also works alongside formation subs and substitution packages. If you customize personnel in a group, and you can later shift into other formations that share the updated personnel structure. The flexibility matters, especially online. So what this is basically saying is when you're at the play call screen now on offense, there's a formation shift button. So let's say, for instance, I'm calling a bunch play, right? But I also share that same personnel with another play, like maybe like spread or something. No, it's probably not makes the most sense. But essentially what happens is you can now come out in that spread or whatever look. And then what will happen is before you hit hike, they break the play and go into the play that you picked. I was told this might be cheap. I'm not sure, because with all the tools the defense is getting, you got to give the offense something that they can use. In my opinion, because you have to go back to the actual play formation, that takes time for people to move around in the line. So that's time off the play clock that gets wasted. And then while they're doing the movement, you on defense can make your changes. If you know it's like, oh, they're shifting over to the left or shift to the right, I can make those adjustments. So I think it's going to balance out. I think it does give you that ability to kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of play those mind games, that chess match. I'm interested to see how it all plays out. I'm interested to see if people even will utilize it. When I use it in practice mode, it looked pretty cool, but I mean, in the game scenario, I can't sit here. I'm thinking to myself like, oh yeah, I'm going to put this formation change in or formation shift in, but we'll see. Total pre-play control. One of the biggest additions to the gameplay here is the revamp of our pre-play controls and defensive adjustment systems. When we really took a deep dive into our pre-play controls, the analogy I gave the team was this. For those of you with kids, it's like when you tell them to clean their room, and instead of actually organizing, they just shove everything into open spaces and call it clean. These were this was kind of where we were with pre-play controls. Over the years, features, adjustment systems kept getting added, but not always in the cleanest or most logical way. Lastly, for example, pressing up on the D-pad gave you dynamic subs, pressing down handled camera toggles, but then the left and the right were contextually controlling defensive linemen and linebackers. Some of the things made sense, some did not. And over time, the whole experience just became hard to navigate quickly, especially in high pressure moments. So this year, one of the major goals is to reorganize and streamline the entire experience. Now, I want to be clear about something. This is not us dumbing down football. This is not a one button mode, and this is definitely not the same strategy pad with extra clicks laid on top of it. The goal is the exact opposite. We wanted to make advanced defensive football faster, cleaner, more intuitive for players who really understand the game. Yes, there will be muscle memory changes at first, but once you're comfortable with it, you're going to be significantly faster than before. That meant reorganizing controls in a way that made far more contextual sense. Up and down the D-pad now toggle the camera. Left on the D-pad brings up the coach vision HUD. Right on the D-pad opens up dynamic subs. And on the offensive side of the ball, major protection controls are not identified on the leave left trigger, give you much faster access to adjustments that matter most before the snap. A huge part of this is creating the HUDs with layer functionality instead of consistently forcing you through multiple menus and HUDs. For example, on defense this year, holding left trigger brings up your global coverage adjustments hub. From that single space, you can quickly press or back off coverage, play inside or outside leverage, pass commit inside or outside. Adjust your smart zone strategy, access deep zone focus, clear deep zone focus, double team as a receiver or double team a receiver. And they're kind of showing you what it looks like with the global. So now you see you have to back off. You have the inside coverage, outside coverage, the press coverage, and then you can do route committing. You can play over the top, you can play underneath. You can make your zones be on conservative. You can make them be on aggressive. You can make it be on ultra conservative or ultra aggressive. And the point here was speed and accessibility, and all this can happen without constantly entering and exiting different menus. When holding left trigger, the icons of the receivers come up so you can make adjustments around that individual receiver. Want to press them, back off, play inside leverage, shade, outside double team, focus coverage on the top, or even matching defender onto a receiver like you could in previous years. It's all right there. Double him, you say? Now, I will kind of say this. I didn't see like the back off when I saw that, but I also don't know if I was doing it right. So just one thing to try and handle it. And obviously it's a beta, they might be still adding it, but if they do add that individual assignments, that'd be pretty cool to see. I just don't know if I was able to see that. Double him, you say? Yep, if you want to double team a receiver now, it's simply as holding this left trigger, selecting the receiver you want to focus on, and pressing square X, that's fast. You're now bracketing a receiver. So basically saying if you hold down left trigger and you select the receiver, and then you can hit the double team button, which if we look here, you see it says keep deep zone focus, clear deep zone focus, double team. So interesting. This is the type of functionality we wanted throughout the entire pre-play revamp. Based on player feedback and research, we also wanted to make sure the important adjustments were front and center. Things like leverage technique, underneath or over the top, commit, pass commit, smart zone behaviors are not immediately accessible. The controls now make more contextual sense and more accessible, let you into the looks and answers you want with far fewer inputs than ever before. Custom adjustment builds your answers. Now you're getting one of the deepest stretch features the studio's ever delivered. Custom adjustments. This feature is built around one simple idea. If you know football, you should be able to play football faster. For years, there were players who knew exactly what adjustment they wanted to make, but the amount of pre-play clicks and menus just became too cumbersome and overwhelming. You knew the answer getting to it before the snap was the problem. That changes this year. Go to create and share, enter custom adjustments, and from there, nearly every single offensive defensive tool imaginable is at your fingertips. Front, leverage, coverage behavior, protectors, pressure looks, route concepts, hot routes, and even per player assignments can be all built into your own custom package. Build it, name it, save it, and move on to the next one. You can now create up to 20 custom adjustments on offense or 20 on defense, but you can only bring 10 active adjustments to a game. There's a real game plan of all deciding which looks and answers you want available on game day. And once you're in the game, everything is built around speed. At the play call screen, simply hold the corresponding play button. Your custom adjustments appear at the top of the menu above your stunts and twists. And yes, stunts and twists are still there and can still be layered into your setup as well. Then once you get to line of scrimmage, changing your looks become even faster. Tap L1, L1, LB, which serves your custom adjustment button for both offense and defense. Hit the corresponding button and boom, your entire setup is applied instantly. Something that may have taken 15 to 20 button presses the previous years can now happen in a couple of clicks. And even if you never create a custom setup yourself, there are preset micro adjustments ready to use immediately. On defense, things like QB scramble, play short passes, no deep passes, defense screen pass. On offense, things like go vertical, slants, mesh, outs, smart routes, comebacks, double moves, zigs. These are all accessible right out of the box. This is important to us because it's a feature for everybody. Now, new players can use preset micros, core football plans can really get to their answers quickly, and however, players can build full custom set systems around their identity. Now, with all the motion, shift, hot routes, and adjustments part of the C, we also had to make sure the system stayed balanced and offensive real football. Because of that, once an adjustment is made, players must get set at the line of scrimmage before another adjustment can be applied. You cannot endlessly stack adjustments while players still moving around pre-play. On the other hand, no different than using hand signals to go in a concept and hostile environment, these custom adjustments are not impacted by home field advantage. And honestly, one of the coolest parts of development has been watching players already recreate both historic and present day defenses through the system. This is exactly what we hope for when this feature will become. All right. let's back up because this is a big one here. This is a game changer. So you know how when you're playing maybe on third down, second down, you know that someone is going to go to the inside. You want your pass rush to, spread out. You want you commit to the inside, play over the top, all that. What this is saying is you can now set all of those up before the game, and then when you're on the field, hold the L1 button, pick whatever you set up, and it will instantly have all those adjustments made for you. Seriously big game changer. I think everyone in the community has been bitten by quick hike. This is like a great quick hike stopper, right? Because now if you know, like, hey, I want them to do this and this and this on that down, hold down that L1 or LB, you know what I'm trying to say, pick that button, and then bam, those adjustments are instantly applied. I am excited for it. I think you are gonna have to go in there and play around with it. Them having pre-built ones is pretty cool. So like on offense, like if you know someone's doing mid-blitz and you have like a mesh concept is it, you can just instantly go to that. I know one of the things that sucked with Madden before was you'd have to spend time doing like your audibles and making concepts. This is now gonna make it be less time so that you can kind of attack things. Really interested to see how it plays out and builds. I want to get in there and build my own, but as someone that has like a pretty good idea of what he want to call on third down and when, if you give me an ability to kind of cut that down, I'm definitely intrigued. So I can already see myself using this as like a way of calling like my right pirate so that I can force the quarterbacks to the right, have contain kind of already be set up. Even if you don't use it, you can still do all those adjustments on the field, but it just cuts down on time. So I think when you have those most common ones that you're going to see and you have it built in here, it will cut down and give you back more time to play the game, which is dope. Time to get back on the fold. Across all these changes, the common theme is game authenticity. This shows up in time-based catching. This shows up in wide receivers DB battles. This shows up as smarter AI and pre-play adjustments, trench play movement, and short yardage tension, coach mode, but just a more important shows how differently these games express across both games. We did not want these games to blur together. We wanted them to stand apart when they capture the true football represents. Really took your feedback to heart this year. We watched your favorite creative videos, saw the wish list, listened to reviews, and in short, we hear you, and this is one giant step on our journey together. We know there are plenty of other deep dives out there for you to read and more creators to listen to break all of this down, but for now, be on the lookout for what's next. Stay tuned to our socials, and eventually it'll be time to get back to the sport we all know and love. I'll see you on the field. Winners win, and I'm out. All right, so like I said, long video. Right now, Madden and the CFB 27 are up for pre-order. You can get the standard editions, you can get the deluxe editions, both bundled together, or you can get the MVP Plus subscription. The standard editions both bundled together. I believe they retail at $150. You get both college football and Madden. For the MVP Plus subscription, you get both the games, but it's not like you own the games. You're just on a subscription. That one does give you access to the beta early. Yes. Can you guess which one I got? So if you do want access to play the beta, you are able to get that MVP Plus subscription. Right now, the CFB 27 beta is out. Not allowed to talk about it or give like a general review about it. Obviously, I try to speak on like what I've seen that can relate to this, but can't give much details outside of that. But encourage you guys to go and make your decision. In my opinion, there's a lot to digest on defense this year. If you were looking through and seeing the other video, like there's so much they give the defensive side of the ball. It's crazy. Offense did get some love, but I really feel like they peppered and laid and bundled up tight the defensive side. I truly feel that if we can't already, we have everything we need to adjust and go to anything or counteract anything we see on offense. Like I said, can't give away too much, but playing online with these adjustments, you definitely see the defense holding up and doing more things than what it was before. And people that are bums and, can't make the right reads and just want to roll around the pocket are getting punished. Now, I know once again, you hear it every year. Oh yeah, it won't let you do this. And then I really think this year, if you invest and go into those settings and make those changes, you will have different things play out. But I digress. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below what is the gameplay feature that you're most excited about, whether it be on the defensive side or offensive side. Really hope that you guys enjoy this. Let me know if you like this format, how we do it. I didn't have any gameplay, just me talking, some music in the background, so hope you guys enjoy. That being said, if you haven't done so already, make sure that like button. The road to 3,200 subscribers is on. Until next time. Oh, sorry, my bad. Like button, subscribe. Until next time, it's your boy Vish for life. Peace.